Perfect. And I'm just going to start off with an introductory to counseling services. So my name is Bridget and I'm a counselor at Algonquin College. And Christina, who's going to be also the chef in today's webinar, is also a counselor. So I'll get you to introduce yourself there, Christina.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Christina Latifi. I'm one of the counselors at the Algonquin Counseling Center. It's good to be here.
Perfect. So I'll take a few moments just to go over a bit of an introductory to counseling services, and then we'll get started with the bread making. So counseling services provides confidential short-term counseling by qualified practitioners at no cost to Algonquin students. Due to COVID-19, we are offering virtual counseling options by phone or video between 8:30 and 4:45. And students come to counseling often seeking support around a variety of issues such as relationship issues, significant life events, stress management, study skills, mood and anxiety concerns, and overall mental wellness. We are here to support students both with personal and academic concerns, as well as provide career counseling. At counseling services, individual needs are often met through individual counseling, as well as attending workshops. We also offer therapy assisted online. We offer group counseling, and if you're needing referrals either internally in the college or externally in the community, we can also provide that. Finally, just to book an appointment to meet with a counselor, you can call or email the Welcome Center or use the live chat feature on our website. I'm also going to include the Welcome Center's contact information in the chat, as well as a link to our website if you'd like to find out more information about our services. So we'll do that right now. And then I will move it back to Christina, who will be starting the mindful focaccia bread making.
Hi, everyone. As I said, my name is Christina, and for today, I'm Chef Christina, although I'm not really a chef. So mindfulness and making bread mindfully. Why I chose the topic of making bread mindfully is really because of what's going on outside of our lives right now, 2021, in our lives, really. The chaotic world we're living in. At the end of every year and at the beginning of every year, we actually make new resolutions. And I thought, what better way of making that resolution to be mindful living, as part of mindful living, mindful eating, which brings us to making bread mindfully. Now, what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is actually the act of intentionally and compassionately and non-judgmentally being present in the moment and at the task at hand. Now, some of us, and I used to think mindfulness is just doing meditation. So it's a solitary thing, sitting in a corner of dark room with incense and sitting crisscross and basically meditating. And what meditation is really, in my view, is actually a tool that allows us to be mindful, a tool for us to learn to live mindfully. And the focus of mindful meditation is the breath. We all breathe, and we can actually, by bringing our attention to our breath, we actually regulate our emotions. And so mindfulness actually is strengthening the muscle of our mind to be intentionally present and focused. Now, in terms of bread making, I usually, and that's what I was doing, I should have done this prior to our presentation, but I was heating my milk and my liquid ingredients because we needed to be a certain temperature. We needed to be a bit warmer than lukewarm. So I have warmed up my milk, a cup, and I have warmed up my water, which I'm going to mix with a bit of cold water. Again, another cup. And leave it sit there. The other things that I have on my counter is the rest of the ingredients, the dry ingredients. I've already measured the flour, and I have my salt and my toppings here as well. So how to make bread mindfully. And really, again, going back to definition of mindfulness is to be intentionally, non-judgmentally, and compassionately present. And what I mean by non-judgmentally and compassionately is because we normally live on autopilot. We are always doing something, but our minds either in the future or in the past. We are worried, we are stressed, and at the same time, we are doing a task. We're really, really not present. And mindfulness allows us to be present. So how to make the bread mindfully? So when you have your ingredients mixed, in front of you, go ahead and touch the ingredients. I'm talking about the dry ingredients. Feel the consistency. See how it feels against your touch. Okay, is it soft? Is it hard? Does it have a scent? So I have my flour here into which I'm going to mix in my salt. And that's a bit about, I don't measure it because I've done this so many times. So it's about a tablespoon and a quarter of salt. So put it in there. And when I touch that salt, to me, the consistency is a bit coarse. It's not like the flour is. And it's good to pay attention to that. Be a child. When children are doing something, they really are not judging themselves. They're not thinking about what they should do tomorrow or what they did in the past. They're really focused at what they're doing. They're in awe and they're learning, they're curious. And that's what mindfulness is. So I mixed in my salt, and now I'm going to go ahead and mix in my yeast that I have in my fridge. I usually keep my yeast in the fridge because it stays longer. So I need a tablespoon of the yeast. And again, I'm going to put it in my spoon and I'm going to feel the texture, see how it feels. Again, it's not like the flour. It's not as soft and powdery and velvety as the flour. So go ahead and mix your dry ingredients. And I usually do this part by hand because, again, it allows me to enjoy it. I love it, and allows me to mix everything and feel everything and be present at what I'm doing. And now that everything is mixed, I know in the recipe that I sent you, I went through stages, but really to make it short, and this is, believe me, it's a very simple thing to do, and you don't have to mix it all at different stages. Go ahead and mix your liquid ingredients and your dry ingredients all together at this point. Okay, and I have my oil ready as well. So at this point, go ahead and use either a spoon or utensil that you like to use. And again, stir it in and feel and see how it feels against the spoon, meaning, is it hard to mix the things? And does it, at this point, does it have a scent? Because I find when I'm mixing my yeast with my liquid, it usually has a bit of a sour smell, if you will. Go ahead and see if you can smell something. And when I see that I can't really mix the ingredients at this point, I take my spoon out. And again, just like Play-Doh, I go in with my fingers and I start mixing it at first and make sure that everything is incorporated. And once I feel like they're all mixed, I start kneading it. And by kneading, I mean folding the dough into halves. And that, what it does is allows the strands of gluten to form, and it creates that airy, bubbly texture that we want in the bread. Okay, so keep doing it and until the dough actually separates itself from the sides of the bowl. Okay, and this kneading, it actually, the more you do it, the better it is and the fluffier the dough is. So do it for about a minute and enjoy it. See how it feels. And is it hard? Is it easy? Actually, I find it's a good muscle maker, you know, for your your arms. So at this point, what I do is I actually add a bit of oil on top and let it rise. And what the oil does, it actually keeps the top moist, and at least to my experience. And the saran wrap actually keeps the moisture inside as well. So, like so. And I have already, so this is how it's going to look, but I've already made a batch. So this, once you make your ball, you leave it for about an hour to rise, okay? And I've already done that. So this is how it's going to look when it's risen to, it's doubled in size, okay? And from there, what we do is we're going to take our baking sheet. What I do is I spread a bit of oil on it and flour. You can use your rolling pin and do the spreading on the counter with a bit of flour. But I usually do this in the pan for this recipe anyways. But go ahead and do what you like to do. So, and then just spread the flour on top, like so. And what that does is actually allows you to spread the dough easier. And so now I'm gonna put my ball of dough that's prepared already into the sheet. And go ahead and feel at this point, again, just play with it. Feel the dough and stretch it. You can actually lift the dough and stretch it so it fits your pan, okay? And
Christina, can I
yes,
ask you a question?
Sure.
What happens if you're making this and you're noticing kind of all the task lists that you have to do during the day, or you're having other thoughts? Yeah, what would you do in that situation?
So like I said, you have to be really compassionate. So part of mindfulness when you're doing this, you may actually think about tomorrow or, you know, yesterday, what you had done and whatnot, or actually what you're doing and judging yourself. With mindfulness is actually removing the judgment from you, okay? Be compassionate. Just, you know, let it be, because you're never going to get rid of the thoughts. But push them away and bring your focus back to the task at hand. That's what I mean by strengthening the muscle of your brain, okay? It's just going to the gym. When we go to the gym, we actually work on different muscles and we concentrate on them. And this is what we're doing with mindfulness. We're actually strengthening the muscle of the brain. And the more you do it, the more you practice, and the more you actually say, okay, the thought is there, but that's okay, and come back to what you're doing, the better you become at it, the better you can focus, and the better you can do your task at hand. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Okay, so I have now spread my dough, and what I'm going to do again, you can spread your oil at this point or do it afterwards when you're putting your topping, but I'm going to do it now just so I don't forget. And it's about 2 tablespoons of oil. Just spread it on top. And again, just feel the oil, see how it is, you know, and when I'm touching the oil, it actually is so slippery, but it's easy to spread. And again, that's part of being mindful, paying attention to all these feelings and sensations, okay? And I'm gonna get rid of that. So I've already made another batch, so it's ready here. So it has to rise for about 15-20 minutes, okay? And at this point, when you get to the 15-20 minutes, when you've spread your dough, you actually turn on your oven to the temperature, which is 400 degrees, and let the oven heat up. And so at this point, what I'm gonna do is, you know, I've already made a batch. And again, this is another part where you can practice mindfulness, play with it, and go in and make indentation. That's what we do for focaccia, okay? You can leave it like that, but I like going in and with my finger, ever so gently, just pressing on top and making indentation. And it just, for me, it looks better and looks more, I think, prettier. You know, that's what I think. And at this point, what I do is for this recipe, I love making this, and I do it usually, you know, a number of times during the week. And so I spread a bit of kosher salt, okay? Again, it depends on your the taste, and just go ahead, feel the kosher salt, which is a bit more grainy, a bit more coarse than regular salt, table salt, but again, still grainy. And then from there, I put on this recipe, I put a bit of rosemary, and you don't need to put too much rosemary. It's pretty strong, and it actually is aromatic. Smell it, feel it, and voila, you have your focaccia bread for the day. You stick it in the oven at 400 for about 20 to 25 degrees. However, pay attention, because my oven may be different in temperature than yours. So keep an eye on it, and, you know, towards the end of the 20 minutes, if it needs to stay in more, do so. Now, I made another batch. Again, I made one, it's ready here. Mine is a bit more golden because I like it crunchy. So this is how it looks like. But I made mine, I left it in the oven for about 25, 30 minutes, okay? But you don't have to make it this golden. You do what you know pleases you, what's good for your palate. Now, there it is, my presentation on making bread mindfully. Please have fun with it, enjoy it. And don't think about, oh, I'm not going to do it the right way. It's an easy recipe. And if you think like that, just bring your focus back and have fun with the dough, with mixing, with touching, okay? That's what mindfulness is. And mindfulness, just to let you know, there are many, many studies that talk about mindfulness and how beneficial mindfulness is for us. It actually reduces anxiety and stress by actually creating a bit of space from ourselves and our thoughts, between ourselves and our thoughts. And that allows us to actually think before we act, because when we're in autopilot, we actually have conditional reactions. You know, we just react. Okay, so mindfulness actually allows you a bit of space to calm yourself down, regulate emotions, and then answer. The other thing is with mindfulness, because it reduces stress and anxiety, it actually is good for our health. And it also has shown to reduce or slow down the aging of the brain, and in reality, making the brain more plastic and allow it to grow. Okay, so this is my presentation, and I really, really hope that you make mindfulness and mindful living as part of your New Year's resolution, and practice it daily. Back to you, Bridget. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Christina. And thank you for joining. And as I mentioned at the beginning, if you need some support during your studies, please feel free to reach out to us. Also, if you're interested in doing mindful eating, so after you've taken that fresh bread out of the oven, if you're interested in practicing mindful eating, I'm going to include some resources on that, in addition to a number of other mindful resources. I have some phone apps, as well as books and videos that you can check out. So I'll include that in the chat right now. It's a bit of a long list, so I apologize if it's a bit messy on there. But thank you to the entire Algonquin community, Algonquin College community, for taking part in today's virtual AC Day 1 and mindful focaccia bread making. There's lots of engaging and informational sessions taking part throughout the day, so be sure to visit our website. And I'll include that in the chat for all the details. And thank you, and enjoy the rest of your AC Day 1. So I'll put the website in there. Oops. My apologies.
Bridget, while you're doing that, I'd like to thank Graham, Hannah, and Wayne for helping us to do. Thank you so much.
I'm very hungry, so thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Have a great day, everybody.
Have a great day, everybody. Thank you.